Face has been dubbed the leading truth and freedom band in the Union. This four-piece band has made it their mission to expose the lies and scandals coming out of Washington, D.C. Poker Face mixes a variety of styles and orchestrations to take you on a true musical journey. Since 1989, Poker Face has imprinted its unique sound, style, and most importantly, message upon growing numbers of the freedom-loving public. They were the premier band that traveled with the Campaign for Liberty during Ron Paul's 2008 presidential campaign. They are playing at an upcoming concert on Guy Fawkes Day. Let's welcome back to the Global Freedom Report, Paul Topete of Poker Face. Paul, how are you?
Good, Brent. Thanks for having me up tonight.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And as a matter of fact, when I saw that you're playing on Guy Fawkes Day, I somehow thought that it would be really, really appropriate. Hey, you're a perfect person to ask our question. This is a question we've been asking all show, and I just want to get your hit on it. Do you believe the collapse of the U.S. and global economies is a planned event, and if so, with what objective?
Of course it's a planned destruction, and it's perpetrated by the international banking Jews. And basically so that we can all have a one-world economic unit. I don't know. At one time I used to know what the new economic unit is. I mean, they might bypass the Amero for the North American Union, but they have one already planned. They're working on it. They're trying to devalue our dollar. And, if they wanted to end this economic sabotage that's going on right now, they could quickly, stop it like they have created every other boom bust cycle that, they're involved in.
All right, that's fair. You've been playing freedom music for 20-plus years now. Over that time, what changes have you seen in the relationship between ordinary Americans and their governments?
I see a not-so-dumbed-down and drugged-up America like, I was seeing in the 80s, 90s, and beginning of the new millennium. 9/11 woke up a lot of sheep. And the continuing abuse between Jorge Bush and the abomination, a lot more people are waking up. Just this last election, the Tea Party started with the common person until it was taken over by the Santorellis and the Glenn Becks and Sarah Palins. There's still the common man that's disgusted with the way politics is being run. We're sick of the one-party, two-headed beast that's out there, of the Republicans and Demo-commies,
Do you think, though, that when I say the relationship between the people and the government, I'm not just talking about people waking up, but in terms of how they treat each other. And that's not just how the people treat the government, but how the government treats the people. Over the 20 years you've been singing and playing, you've probably seen a whole tapestry of changes on that. Can you tell something about that?
Sure. Our government's become more tyrannical, doesn't listen to the people. This whole election was, basically a rejection of the socialistic communistic policies that the abominator has put forward. And whether the government doesn't want to listen to us, if they do not start listening to us, the Second American Revolution will go from being an information war to a shooting war. And we're trying everything that we can to stop it from becoming a shooting war. But when they do not listen to you, what are you left with? The ballot box is no longer working, then the only thing you're left with is the cartridge box.
If that's and see, that's what I've been saying for years. It's not that I want to get up there and shoot somebody, but if we are given no other option, if we petition, if we remonstrate, if we prostrate ourselves before the throne, and our repeated petitions are met with repeated injury, what are we to do?
Well, it's time for a new declaration of independence, not the interdependence crap they wrote in 1976, but a true independence, where we say, look, you no longer represent us. It's time to cut the bonds that we have had ties to. It's time to basically say goodbye to the private corporation of the Federal Reserve that does nothing but print money out of thin air and then charges us usurious interest rates. And it's time for we the people to start coining our own money again.
What do you think of the country's political landscape in the aftermath of the elections? I mean, we're fresh off them. Do you have any opinions?
Yeah, I hope there's more gridlock because just like our forefathers wanted, when there's gridlock, emotional passion can't rule the day. So, like, if some MK Ultra victim goes into a McDonald's and shoots everybody up, then, they try to quickly pass bad gun laws. So when gridlock is happening, good for freedom. When bipartisanship is happening, bad for freedoms. So right now that Obama doesn't have the complete Congress, meaning the House and the Senate, that's a good thing for us. And all bills originate in the House. So that means the Republican-led government, if they really mean what they mean, then bring the jobs back, meaning you got to destroy NAFTA. You have to destroy that. You have to destroy the FTAA and CAFTA. You have to get rid of most favored nation trading status with the communist Chinese. Okay? You need to put tariffs in place to basically equalize the labor cost.
And I got to tell you, Paul, consider your song, I'd Rather Die Than Be a Slave, to be one of the top 3 freedom songs ever written. I say it not only as a listener, but as a composer. And it's a genuine anthem for independence. Do you believe that in our lifetimes we will see a revolution on American soil? And if so, how do you think it will manifest? And if it manifests as an armed revolution, what will be the final straw?
I believe that because of the murderous actions of our government back in '93, the burning of the Church of the Davidians, there's a opinion amongst many freedom-loving Americans, especially the militias, that there'll be no more Wacos. So if the government in its hubris thinks that it can murder Americans, supposedly Obama is creating CIA kill teams, and they start whacking Americans without being judged and juried by, the system. Instead, the government's acting as judge, jury, and executioner. I believe that the next Waco event will be the litmus test to kick off the Second American Revolution, or some see the Third American Revolution. George Washington was given the vision by the Holy Spirit, and he was shown 3 wars, and the last one was the whole world embroiled in communism and a dark cloud coming upon America and burning every city from the sea to shining sea. So I believe it will happen in our lifetime, and that basically the criminal government that is operating as our federal government will import, mercenaries from China, from Russia, from anywhere to basically put down the domestic population. And with God and His glory, we will defeat them. And not only will we free America, but we will finally free the rest of the world from the Talmudic, Kabbalistic cabal that is running not only our government, but the whole world government.
Do you think that in today's global communication technology age, where pretty much, right now I'm in New Zealand talking to you right now, the studio's over in Idaho, and we're all together in the listener, on the listener's radio or wherever they're listening to us. Do you think, considering that this revolution, should it come, that everyone will be aware of what's going on, or do you think that those who control the media will be sufficiently effective to prevent one hand from knowing that the other hand is already rebelling?
Of course they'll try their best, but because of technocracy and the elite's over-dependence upon it, when they need it most, it will fail them, and their control will also fail them. We have many ways of getting the word out. It's not just through the telephone. It's not just through the TV set. It's through a song. It's through word of mouth. It's, whisper down the alley, but it'll get out. And once the abuse is shown that the government has overstepped its boundaries for one last time, the Tea Party, regardless of whether it's become neocon from the above and attacked by the communist front by below, the sentiment is still there. Americans are waking up. They're pissed off and very angry. And all they need is the right flash event. It's just going to take a spark to set things off, like our song Control talks about. That, look, brother, I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I don't live as a free American. I live as free as I possibly can be in the state of tyranny, but I could be so much more freer. And I will want to leave this world and my children and grandchildren a freer world than what was handed to me.
Man, it's like, I'm listening to you, and it's like this is me. You're speaking my heart. You're speaking my passion, and I have no doubt that you're speaking the passion and the heart of the founding fathers. And what went on. There's a certain reality. Some of us see it so clearly, and you are absolutely one of those people. All right, let's play a game, Paul. I am hereby appointing you. I'm the host, and so I get to do whatever I want. I am hereby appointing you God for a day. Okay? With no disrespect meant at all. You are God. What will society look like when you get through fixing it?
Brother loving brother, man. You know, and people are able to build lives from the get-go instead of having to have a 20-year friendship, proving each other every day that, you know, I'm not a scumbag and that I'm actually here for you. Father showed me heaven, and it is a world where brother trusts brother from the get-go instead of, you know, the attitude that is today of dog eat dog, and I step on you to get ahead, and I stab you on the back because I got to do what's best for me. So we have to take care of the basic needs of humanity, and that's creating an unlimited source of energy. And a patriotic American Jew that converted to Christ by the name of Stanley Myers showed us the way by showing the use of frequency to break apart the molecule of water so that we could have an unlimited source of free energy that's non-polluting. So if I can create a generator that's run on water, not only can I power my house and my electrical needs and my heat needs, but I can also power my energy needs to grow my own food in my own room, be it lettuce and green peppers and tomatoes or whatever else I like to grow. But that I have fresh food, that I have the energy to use my tools to create what I'm going to bring to the market. And the only true free market is the farmer's market or the black market, not this capitalism that is infused with billions of dollars of usurious, you know, Jewish, funds that gets to decide who's going to be the victor of whatever segment of society that they decide to fund. You know, basically, my talents, my time, my product is going to be brought before market and compared to everybody else's product, and we're going to trade and barter, and we're going to find out its true worth is. So, if I'm living in a society where we have unlimited energy, I don't have to worry about the heat in my house or the coolness of my house. I don't have to worry about the food that's being produced. And we have to break up this dependency on one system, because when the one system goes down, look at Katrina. Not only does New Orleans suffer, but everybody else around it suffers. Instead, Topete has a thing called the local solution, where we use his farmer as the economic vehicle, the engine that he used to be, to power the local community at the county level, not the township because it's too small, and not the state because it's too big. But if each county was able to produce all of its needs, and trading and borrowing for the things that it doesn't have, because, look, you can't grow oranges in Canada, okay? So the Canadians can have the maple syrup, and they'll trade with the Floridians that are producing the oranges. But the excess, the reverse of it, growing their own hemp to have clothing, food, fuel, fiber, and the farmer is gaining all that he's putting it back into the economy. The person that's using the hemp to create the clothes, he's putting that back into the local economy. So we're not dependent upon their system of distribution. I hate the system of distribution because it's very dehumanizing. It's not the way that our forefathers. Could you imagine, our forefathers, or like the new immigrants or the illegal immigrants coming into this country, where they actually had to eat out of subsistence from the land that was in front of them, meaning they had to dig up the earth to find the rocks to build a house, cut down the trees to build the walls and the roof of the house, and then farm the land before they can even start to maintain themselves in this country. Now we have Mickey D's and 7-Elevens on every corner. That it doesn't matter that, anybody can come into this country and somewhat flourish on the backs of the labor that our forefathers built. Okay? So our forefathers were men of metal, that they had the abilities to not only survive in this kind of infrastructure support system that we have today, not only survive, but to flourish. Those are the kind of characters of the American soul and spirit are the ones that I'm looking for, my bandmates are looking for, my family, my friends are looking for. We're forming communities that we're depending upon ourselves, because when the system does collapse, those that didn't prepare are going to be the wave, as we call it, that the federal government is going to have to deal with, because they're going to be pissed off and angry because they were lied to.